Today, we are smoking up poor man's brisket. Welcome back, everybody. My name's Kevin, and it is the weekend. We are cooking up on our smokers today, and it's gonna be a wonderful day. I am doing poor man's brisket. What is that? That is chuck roast that I'm gonna treat and cook just like I would a brisket. Now, I was talking to my buddy the other night, and he was like, no, gross. Why would you do that? Yes, brisket is elite, and cooking brisket well, you are part of that elite crowd. But doing a poor man's brisket is a great way to practice honing in your seasonings and your temperatures instead of using all your money on a big brisket, spending 10, 12, 15, 16 hours on a brisket. You can do a poor man's brisket pretty quickly. So my friend Tommy over at the Gallery Backyard, he's done a ton of these, and he's actually the reason I started doing these. He's fearless when he comes to his poor man's brisket. He'll add stuff to it. He'll put different seasonings on it. Halfway through, he'll wrap it, and he'll put Worcestershire sauce, all types of different seasonings, because it's a cheaper cut, and you can do that. You can go wild on this and experiment, and if you really like that flavor, then you can add it to your brisket the next time you do it. So this is gonna be a quick video, and let's get right to it. Hey guys, a little more background for my offset smoker group and offset smokers that are watching this channel. Well, people that use offset smokers, not actual offset smokers that watch my channel. I am being really laid back with this smoke today. My heat is fluctuating 50 to 75 degrees. Normally I would be freaking out. And it's Father's Day weekend. I'm doing a poor man's brisket. I'm not doing a big brisket. I'm doing chuck. So it's allowing me to relax and just let my temperatures fluctuate, not get all stressed out about it. So this is why this is a good cut of meat to do a practice run with, because I'm not stressed. If this was a brisket right now, I'd probably be sweating bullets, worried about my temperature fluctuating more than 10 degrees. Oh my God, flipping out. But today I'm just having a nice, relaxing Father's Day weekend, and I am allowing my smoker to move all different temperatures, big swings, to see how this ultimately turns out. It's gonna be fine. It's gonna work itself out. So I just wanted to share that with you because I know a lot of people are new to using offset smokers and they are stressed out, and I get it. I've used mine 100 times and I still get stressed out. So this is a great practice run and I encourage you to try it. Thank you. All right, I know it's a little hard to see, but the wind has changed on me. Now it's going this direction. All right, when the fire started, it was going the other direction. Now, what does that mean? My firebox is right here. So when the wind was blowing this direction, it was feeding a lot of air right into the firebox, which meant my fire was ripping. It was all the way up to 325, 350. But now, since the wind, because we got storms all around us, the wind has changed directions, that airflow is not feeding the fire. So I actually have to crank this open a little bit more and adjust it to keep that fire going at the temperatures I want. Temperature really dropped on it. So that's what you want to be mindful of. That's why you want temperature probes that you can check on your phone inside your house, so you know what's going on, even when you're not babysitting it. Finishing up this chuck, I had checked with a probe to see if it was probe tender. Probe tender is when you stick your thermometer probe in your roast or your brisket or your chuck in this case, and you want it to be as soft as butter. And when it hit 203, it was not soft as butter. So I let it stay on with an internal temperature at 203 for about an hour until I got that probe tenderness I was looking for. Once I did that, I actually took it off and put it on my counter. This is the first time with the brisket. I would have put it in a cooler to keep that heat, but it was getting late, so I wanted to just put it on the counter and have it rest there for an hour. And this is after an hour unwrapping it. Even after an hour, this is still piping hot. Most people think, oh, it's going to get cold. It is not going to get cold. My total cook time for this was roughly 6 hours. I didn't think it was going to take that long because I was trying to go hot and fast, but it still took a good bit of time to get that soft tenderness that I was looking for. I had 3 hours of smoke, not wrapped, and then 3 hours of butcher paper wrap time to get me to where I wanted. Please make sure to subscribe, click that bell, and turn on those notifications. All right, we are slicing into this. As you can see, this was definitely a thinner piece, but to get it to where I want it to be, it still needed a good amount of time on the smoker. So that's why I went with 5 hours. But the smoke ring and the tenderness really turned out the way I wanted to. So even at higher temps, or when you're trying to achieve higher temps, sometimes you still need to go a long time on your smoker. But 5-6 hours, that's not too bad. And that smoke ring, you can tell that it just gave it a lot of flavor. Now, this looks a little dry. I can tell you it is not dry. It does have a good moisture content, nice and tender, nice and juicy. Not as juicy as maybe a 3-inch chuck roast would have been, especially since this started on the smaller side. This was probably closer to 1.5 inches when it started, but it came down in size. But I did achieve that pull apart tender. Biting into this, it was super soft, and it had the right moisture content to make me happy. What I'd say is being able to experiment with the seasonings, with the Worcestershire sauce, really made this a great cook to do. Leaving you with that, if you always are afraid to experiment with brisket seasonings, this was a great way to experiment and not be hung up on, am I about to ruin a brisket? This let me feel more confident to go after it and try new seasonings, try different things. So I encourage you to give this cook a try and tell me in our Facebook group what you thought, how it turned out for you. I hope everybody's having a great day, and we will talk soon.